Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 216/217, if you want to count the last episode as 216, of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game news and movie news, as well as we watched our flavor of the week. My name's Barry, along with my fellow D1 college athletes.
My name's Greg, high school Franklin, hoping to make it in the big leagues.
My name is also Craig, currently dominating at Georgia Southern.
Ooh, okay.
Barry, offensive line, Percy, Pennsylvania.
We should be announcing ourselves this way every time.
Exactly, yeah.
We should.
But let's
Full of
announce
hard
the
knocks.
news first. We'll go ahead and announce the news first. We're going to kind of catch up from last week as well. But Halo TV show has been canceled. First season was pretty and the last episode, I never got around to watching the second season. I probably should.
Me neither.
It did not have any legs.
The last episode of the first season was pretty good,
Yeah, that's what I thought so too.
but I never watched the second season. That first season was such a drag up until the end. I just could not bring
Absolutely.
myself. Yeah.
Some games can just, I don't want to not give Halo a fair shot, but like sometimes it just works out in a video game adaptation, as we have seen, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, but this should be easy to make a good TV show out of. You
It
have
should.
lore.
There's so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many
Yeah.
books, so much lore.
Yeah.
But so be it. Personal news for me, FC25 trailer is shown and it shows no gameplay. It pissed me off so much. It was like a movie trailer. That's what it felt like watching it. And it did announce that Jude Bellingham, the central midfielder for Real Madrid, is the cover star, which is to be expected. But I was just so mad. It's just like I was really hoping to like see something, because we're also supposed to be getting another soccer game now that FIFA also has other rights to another game company for soccer. So good competition is what I was hoping for. But no gameplay is really stupid for an announcement trailer for a game coming out in August.
Agreed.
I have less than a month before this game comes out, and I've got no idea what it looks like.
Kind of sounds.
It's going to look like
sounds like NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Also haven't released anything, but I definitely have put their pre-orders up.
Not lastly, Deadpool controller.
Mm-hmm.
They announced a limited edition Xbox Series X with like a Deadpool skin and an Xbox controller. What's so, I guess, special about this controller is that the back of it is supposed to be Deadpool's butt.
It's got cheeks.
Yes,
yeah,
this controller has cheeks. It was kind of a fun and exciting announcement, but a lot of people are pissed off at Microsoft and Xbox for not making this controller more available. It's a one of one.
Yep.
You can't get it anywhere else. How do you guys feel about like special edition controllers that only come with the I haven't seen Sony do this, for example, where like usually if it's a special edition of a console, it's more than just a one of one, but this one is a one of one. Like, does that piss you guys off that you guys can't get this Deadpool controller with cheeks?
They've done it a lot though. Like they've done a lot of one of one or like 10 of like it's always a giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to have that
more
controller though.
It should be more accessible, especially something like that, riding high off the on Deadpool 3 and everybody's excitement for that. Like, I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's just interesting, just for the sake of how many people would actually buy this. I know it sounds like a
lot of people.
Well, you say a lot of people, but then when it comes to, this controller is going to cost more than a regular controller because there's extra components to it. From what I've seen, the cheeks portion of the controller is magnetized to the back. So it's one of those things where now the controller has magnets, and then there's the extra piece that you attach to the controller. I just want to know if it's comfortable. Like that'd be
it probably can't be, which
Yeah.
is why you can probably remove it, right, and use it like a normal controller.
Yeah, and then when you go to show it to your friends, you just plaster some cheeks on there.
Yep. I don't think I'd even use it if I could buy it. I'd probably just put it on display.
That's what a lot of people were saying.
Yeah.
Isn't there a, and this is related and not related, but wasn't there some hype surrounding the popcorn bucket that was going to be,
Mhm.
So
You've
that
seen the
tells me,
popcorn bucket, right?
yeah, I've seen it. I just forget like what it like where I saw it
Oh, okay.
because like they were making, obviously they're making fun of the Dune 2 bucket. But like people like that who are surrounding that hype are interested in something that's related to Deadpool. I could see a lot of people buying this controller. You know,
Yep.
I don't know.
For sure.
And lastly, on my end, let's talk about the Xbox Game Pass increased and different tiers. Uh, as of right now, there's also a filing complaint from the FTC about these hikes. A lot that I see mixed opinions online about what it means. So let's go ahead and dive into the 4 different things you can now subscribe to.
Hmm.
The first one is Game Pass Standard. It is $15, but no day one releases, no EA Play, no PC Game Pass, and no cloud gaming. We then have Game Pass Ultimate, which is going from $17 to $20. Game Pass Core is changing its yearly charge from 60 to 75. The monthly charge is $10. And lastly, the PC Game Pass goes from 10 to 12.
Hmm.
Me personally, I'm going to really consider about what I'm going to do with like Game Pass and stuff like that right now cuz I've recently edited my PlayStation to reflect more like I don't need the ultimate version of the PlayStation stuff and I'm spending too much money on these like gaming subscriptions I feel like. But you take it monthly, this is this is a pretty big yearly uh subscription service that, to be honest, we're still waiting for these games to come out that Xbox, like, they're asking you to pay up front without them proving, I guess,
Sure.
what's being shown. Like, for me, I almost consider just getting Game Pass for PC because I really like the strategy games that I'm able to get day one with it. But I don't know if I get day one releases with PC Game Pass. Like, that goes from 10 to 12. So there's all this
A lot of math.
yeah, too much math for a communications major. That's why I didn't do mathematics. How
I,
do you guys feel?
I feel like every 6 months now, I'm going to have to just do a tax audit
Yep.
for myself on if this is actually worth it. Like right now, we're 7 months in. Because of Game Pass, P3R, I didn't have to pay to play that. I'll get into some games that in the game section that I'm playing currently because of it. But like, Senwa Saga or Hellblade 2, didn't have to buy that. I probably would have bought it, but I was able to play that. So I think I'm going to do like just an assessment half a year, every half year to see if it's just worth my time. Like that's what I feel like now with this particular subscription, where others are easy to assess. Nintendo subscription, PlayStation subscription, you could pretty much put yourself in some of those categories, pretty easily. But like for this one, I don't know.
Yeah, I think out of all of us, I tend to download just about every game that hits on Game Pass. Like even if I play it for like 20 minutes, I at least like there was like what 5 or 6 that dropped this week on Game Pass and I downloaded every single one. I personally feel like I get my money's worth out of Game Pass Ultimate between PC and Xbox. Just because the amount of games that I haven't had to buy in the past couple of years is like astronomical. But I'm also paying for GameFly. So like I get out of buying a lot of games, which does it save me more money? Just like you said, Craig, I'm probably gonna have to like sit down and think about it. I've been thinking about canceling my PlayStation Plus for sure, just because like I very rarely download games on there. The only thing I've been playing is Death Stranding, right? And like I'll look on there and I feel like I don't. So because I use my Game Pass so much, when I look on PlayStation Plus, 90% of the time I feel like I'm like, oh, that was already on Game Pass.
Yeah.
or like
Yep.
I already touched it over on Game Pass. So if you had one or the other, like if you just had PlayStation Plus, I think it's probably worth it. But because I've been doing both, I look at it as like, all right, if Game Pass is going to be 20 instead of 18 a month for me, maybe I just cancel the PlayStation Plus, which is what, 18, 20?
Yeah, I
How
think it
much is
depends on.
I have the top one, whatever the top one
I
is.
think that I think that's 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I just cancel that one and just go with Game Pass, or maybe, you cancel Game Pass and just go with PlayStation Plus. I don't think it makes sense to have both anymore, not at these prices.
No, and then you got to consider also like what kind of gamer you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played Lies of P on Xbox because it was Game Pass, but
Yep.
I am better at Souls-like games with the PlayStation controller layout. It's just what my hands are used to.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know if people are considering that, like, or considering the fact that, like, I don't know. There's just like when you game enough, there's small nuances that I think you might sit down and have to decide mathematically if it's worth it for you or not.
Yeah. And I think, Barry, you're right as well. Like, if they're going to do this, which looks like they are, unless the FTC shuts them down, then they really got to start bringing out the heavy hitters. Like, you brought out Diablo, cool. But, like, Call of Duty is going to be on Game Pass day one, which is awesome. But, like, you got to start coming out with some other stuff now. Like, fine, you're going to do this, but, like, all right, put all the Call of Duties on Game Pass. Really start
Yeah.
hit up that Activision library you have, like put all those games on there so people see it's worth it. You already own them. It's not really costing you anything. And how many people are buying Call of Duty games, past games anymore? Whereas, like, if you throw all those on there, I might download some of those again
Yeah.
and play them again. So,
When Call of Duty Story was good.
yeah, maybe you go back through
Right.
and play all the Black Ops to get ready for the new one. I would do that. But yeah, they I don't know. It is getting expensive for sure.
The creep of like media subscriptions now and gaming
Yes.
subscriptions are starting
I
to
just
go
have
all
too
over
many
the
things
place.
getting taken out of my bank account every month.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we haven't even talked about just like television subscriptions.
Yep.
We're running into that now. That's the decision that most people have to make with their television or their streaming. Sorry, not television, streaming
Yep.
Well,
subscriptions.
even the mix of streaming and television, like right now,
Yeah, true.
the
Yeah, true.
mix of exclusivity between all of this stuff, it makes it really difficult for a consumer to be able to watch really what they want to watch. I guess
Yep.
Mhm.
is what I'd say. If you want to watch everything that everybody's talking about, there's 2 shows here, 3 shows there, 4 shows here, and like you'd have to like cancel your plan and resubscribe when the show comes back. It's a lot.
Yep.
But that's all I had for news. What did you guys want to go into?
More money. I want to talk about more money.
Money.
All right. So
Money.
this actually was last week, but I've been holding on to this one. I wanted to talk about the Battle Pass changes on Apex. I know, Barry, you and I don't really play it as much anymore. I haven't played it in a while.
Pour one out for a homie.
Yeah, for Loba and
Yeah.
Watson. So the Battle Pass is changing, and everybody's really upset. So each season is now going to have 2 Battle Passes instead of 1. On top of that, it is $10 for each Battle Pass. So it comes out to $20 for the season, which before it was 10, right? But the big thing is that before, like when you bought the Battle Pass, if you completed it, you got enough Apex coins for the next one. It's going to be a different currency. So you have to pay real money for each Battle Pass. You can't buy one, finish it, and have enough coins for the next one. They're doing away with
Okay.
that. Ridiculous. I don't know. Like, it seems maybe I just don't pay attention as much anymore because we're not playing it. But I feel like I see Apex less now. So it might be dying off. But I have no desire to go back to this. I'll tell you that much.
Neither am I.
I don't know when this is going to stop. I mean, I know
It's
that
not.
it's not.
Yep.
It just gets more expensive to do the things you like to do.
Yep. And I'm
Just in
usually
general.
really good about ignoring season passes. Like usually I don't buy them. I don't buy the Call of Duty ones. The Apex ones I did because I bought one and I would always just complete it and have the next one. But I feel like I've like been able to pull myself away from those and just not do them anymore. I don't know. Do you guys still do season passes on anything?
Hmm.
It has to be the weight of the game.
Okay,
Like I don't mean to bring like money into this, but I weigh how often I'm going to play it.
that's
Like if I
fair.
have a group of friends, we play it a lot. I know we're going to be playing it a lot for months. Then I'll do it. Like
Okay,
when Overwatch 2 came out, I did it because I knew how often I was playing it with friends. Like,
that's fair.
it has to be the time I'm putting in the game. I won't just buy it.
Yeah, Barry, do you have any outstanding season passes?
Not that I can think of. Like I used to buy the Call of Duty ones because
Mm-hmm.
I liked having like the new weapons pretty early on and stuff like that. But I haven't bought one in a while after racking my brain around
Yeah,
what
I,
there is and what games have a battle pass.
yeah. I think the only one I have at the moment is Rocket League
Okay.
because it's $10, and I like that's my de-stressor game, which is weird to say about that game, but like if I'm playing a bunch of games, I'm like I just want to not think. It's Rocket League for me. So
Yeah.
$10 for that is cool because that gives me incentive to play it more and unlock stuff. But yeah, I haven't touched Apex or Call of Duty, or I don't do Diablo, or what else is out there, NBA. I haven't touched any of those season passes at all.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't play Fortnite. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. They're always going to find more ways to make money for sure, and I don't blame them. But this one seems a bit much, for sure. The last thing I have is I saw a first review for the Borderlands movie, and I don't know if you guys want to guess how that went.
Well, Kevin Hart's in
Poorly.
it, so probably poorly, but a lot of people will find it fun. That's
They
basically his movies
they said
recently.
they said it was awful. They said worse than they expected. Can't say I'm surprised. Kind of want to see it because I feel like it's going to be a train wreck. I don't know. I mean, since the casting, I think we've all been like, this makes no sense. These casting are, I don't know, but I don't think I'm going to see it in theaters. I'll probably wait.
I would wait on. Yeah, I would definitely wait on that
Yeah,
one.
I just don't know how. I don't know how script writers went. Yeah, Borderlands is what we want to make a movie of. There
Mm-hmm.
are so many more popular games than Borderlands
Yep.
to make a movie about.
Yeah, Borderlands is also specific. It's like so specific of a game, and to your point, Barry, with an audience that's very specific. I think as well. I mean, I gave it a whirl with my wife, and we played Borderlands 2 for like a hot minute,
Mm-hmm.
and then we bought Borderlands 3 and played it for like 30 minutes.
Oh, Barry
You
and
know,
I beat that game.
Yep,
Beat it into submission.
that
I
we
always
did.
l- I always look at it and I love the art style.
Mm-hmm.
That is always what ties me into the game. It's also weird. It's got kind of like, I don't want to offend any Fallout fans, but it's got a Fallout-esque kind of thing, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
But I don't know. But I'm not surprised it went poorly.
No, 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 no. That's all I had.
Okay, I have a couple. First one, a 10-minute gameplay video of Star Wars Outlaws got released last week, and people be concerned. Mainly gamers like myself who have already pre-ordered it.
You
And
pre-ordered it?
I did.
How would you pre-order
Well,
that game of all
just do.
games?
If you really want to
I
play
don't
it,
know.
do
I was feeling.
Ubisoft Connect for a month.
I know. I mean, after this, I'm really starting to consider my pre-order tendencies, which are
Fair.
not still not good. But I don't know. Ubisoft is confirming that the game has already gone gold, so they're going to go with the scheduled release date as planned in August, and it's
They don't care.
concerning.
No, they don't care.
They really don't.
But
I want this
why?
game to be so good.
So
I
do I.
know.
Yeah. I'm definitely doing Ubisoft Connect for a month though.
I might do that.
I'm not playing. I'm not paying for it. There's no way.
I might do that. I'm excited. My wife's excited. It's another. It's an interesting. Isn't it in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi? It's got like an interest. It's like in between one of the classics
Yeah.
where the story takes place. Probably Empire and Return of Jedi because there is a. Um, I feel like I just saw that somewhere. But anyway, in any case, like the reports from a bland storyline or bland open world to just like very bad visuals. Like it's, but you guys are right. It's Ubisoft. They'll still release it. It's monies. But I don't know if you guys did. You guys see the video?
No.
I skimmed it.
So did I.
Yeah.
It didn't look good.
No, it really doesn't. I am
It didn't.
disappointed. I want it. I want this game so bad. An open world Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm. Different protagonists.
Yep.
Running into characters that we know.
Yep.
Like, you know, throughout.
Guns,
I don't know.
blasters, like
Yeah.
that was kind of the
Yes.
stuff I'm excited for. Was excited for it, but
Right.
I know.
but at this point, we just have to hope we like the game when we get it in our hands.
Yes.
Yes. The other one I have is I'm going to steal a line or a thing from you, Barry, and say this is kind of like more of a myself public service announcement. I just really got excited for the casting of Frank Stone. They have a release date coming out September 3rd, and I remember when they initially showed it, I was wondering what the game was about. It's literally an interactive horror game that's set in the Dead by Daylight universe. But it looks like it plays like from I almost said from Until Dawn,
Yeah.
or The Quarry. And I don't know about y'all or any of y'all listening or watching this, but I'm excited for the remake of Until Dawn. Number one, we need more games like this. Number two, I think the casting of Frank Stone is actually going to be that itch until they release that remake of Until Dawn. So if you are like myself, I think we actually should be excited for this one. September 3rd, interesting date that it's that quick, but we have a release date for that. Also, did you guys know Sims 5? Did we talk about Sims 5 getting canceled?
We didn't.
Okay, it got canceled.
Yep.
Apparently it got quietly canceled back in April, which I know for all the Sims fans.
You have
I'm
Sims
not-
4. What else do you need?
It's
Right.
true. It's become just this like platform for them to release DLC. So there's really no reason for them to reinvent another game at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know what the new game, what the Sims 5 would have that Sims 4 doesn't.
Well, I feel like if you want to do like a graphics package update, people will buy that as
Yeah.
a DLC.
Mhm.
And you don't have to spend all the time and resources in marketing or like making physical copies of the game or anything like that. Like just offer, the next, and I would almost call it the next Sims update. And just
Yeah.
update it and then just call it The Sims.
Yeah.
Have it something that's constantly evolving and updating, and when you think of some new fun idea for, The Sims, the Hogwarts,
Yeah.
DLC or something like that, then they just release it, buy the DLC, and you're good to go. I feel like it's almost just a name brand at this point. It's
I mean, the
just
base game is free to play now.
Yeah.
You can just download it, but every time I like think that, oh, that's dead or whatever, they'll release some sort of like paid expansion and everybody buys it. They're printing money with those. It's insane.
Yeah.
My wife included. She buys them all.
Well, that's all I had, guys.
All right, so then let's talk about games this week.
Yeah.
Guys, big games this week.
Oh, what? What are you talking about, Barry?
For me, I played the first Descendant and nothing else.
Nice.
Crazy. This guy, guys.
I played EA Sports College Football. What about you guys? Those two.
College football. NES Championship, whatever it's called. I got my copy of that. Flintlock. Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Ooh. Okay.
I also played the game that I know Craig's going to talk about that he was excited for. And believe it or not, I have a peripheral review. Everybody. A peripheral review.
Ooh, a peripheral. You got the periph?
I do.
Peripheral.
What'd you play, Craig?
So I have Flintlock.
Yep.
I have Kinitsu,
There
Path
it
of
is.
the God. Yes. I played it and playing it. And I also have been obsessed over college football. I got my rendition late, which is why I have other games. Otherwise, I would have probably been Barry this week.
I pulled myself away to play these other games. I was like, all right, college football, I need to take a break.
I could not remove myself. I just couldn't.
I have a
I'll
lot to say, so I can't wait for us to get to that one.
I
yeah. So
brought
I'll
these
just
out of not out of retirement, but I wore these for the first time on release day. Just so you guys know, that's how serious we are about college football. Let me show you these first and foremost. These were my day one playing college football shoes.
Oh
You
yeah,
see
those
I
are
that?
love that you have.
You
yeah.
see
I
that?
love that. I
Those
love.
are
I
what I
love that.
wore. These are my dynasty shoes, right?
I love it.
These are it.
Those are nice. Those are nice shoes.
I like them.
Well, I'll talk about the oldest game first, which is the First Descendant. I've put
Yes.
a decent amount more time into the game, and my opinions are starting to change about it. The shooting gameplay is really solid. I really like it. Is fun just to kind of shoot around and mess around in the game. Missions are short and compact. Uh, the overworld events can take much longer, but overall, we talk about the week with this game at Zenless Zone Zero coming out, where Zenless Zone Zero truly is more like a gotcha game, where like you got to pull characters. The First Descendant really isn't like that. Gathering materials for your characters, like you can find it. They're not that hard to find or know what you have to grind to do. Yes, they do offer the ultimate like editions of these characters, which are very overpowered and super. They make the early game very easy for you to do, and just overall, I have more of a positive light on the First Descendant now. A couple of the things that I'll mention that I do not like, I'm not the biggest fan of with it still, is the First Descendant's 3 heroes. I really don't like that you just get 3 heroes and there's no trial version to figure out who you like. Um, Even at the beginning, you just kind of get a brief description on what each one of the 3 characters you can pick can do, and if you don't like it, you got to go craft that other character. I really believe that in a game like this, you should just be able to trial by you press trial and it dumps you into like a limitless battleground just for you to use the shooter with, and that way you can find what you want to work toward. But instead, the game has a really interesting mechanic for you where in order to do the big raid bosses you need to do mastery, and you have to mastery points like characters in order to do these raid bosses, and I really don't like that. Raid bosses, I don't believe you should be should be gatekeeping because you don't have the mastery points for your for let's say an operator or an agent that you're using. It shouldn't be it. Not that you can't work toward it, but it should be something I feel like you should be able to more easily enjoy. But I know you guys have kind of not like played the First Descendant afterward, but this may be a
Yeah.
game that I want to continue to try to get a little bit further in. I've been playing with a couple friends for it, so I've
Okay.
been I've been enjoying it. Otherwise, this really is a game you don't have to pay money for. I truly don't. Um, Despite I think a lot of reviewers saying that you do need to pay money.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
What else?
the other game for me is college football, but because
We
we all
should-
kind of played that, I'll let you guys go into
Okay.
the other game.
Yeah, I can just all right. So NES Championship, I'll run through that real quick. I actually got it on release day. That's the first
Let's
time in a
go.
long time. I actually think this is very, very cool. I don't know that it's going to be a mass appeal game, but there's something about that, like these bite-sized challenges where it's like, all right, Super Mario 1, how fast can you grab the mushroom in World 1-1? And it has in the bottom corner the little green fonted time that everybody uses for speed running that just like scratches that itch for me. And then it gives you a ranking up to an S rank that I just super enjoy doing. And there's a ton of different games on there, retro games like all the Marios, Zeldas, all that kind of stuff, Metroid. And then they also have multiplayer, and then they have like weekly challenges as well. And then it's all based on like you get pins when you beat certain things. And I bought like the collector's edition, and it comes with pins. I don't, they're in the other room, but they are like super nice pins,
Oh,
like
cool.
super nice. I'm having a blast with it as like a little like 20-30 minute sessions here and there on my Switch. Very hard to do if you're just doing handheld though. You kind of have to use the Pro controller because everything is super precise, and you're trying to like do it as fast as possible. So trying to do it on Joy Cons is a little meh. But I think it's incredibly good, much better than it has any business being for sure. You guys didn't buy it, right? Either one of you?
No.
Okay. I don't know if that's really your guys' thing though. So the collector's edition for the Nintendo World Championship, which is actually the
Yeah.
same as a normal price game. So they give you this little replica Nintendo cartridge, gold plated, which is
Awesome.
awesome. But check out these pins. Tell me how nice. Like these are nice looking pins.
Oh heck yeah.
Like those are nice. Like I was surprised with the quality, and it comes with a bunch of like art cards. But who cares about
Okay.
art cards? Nobody. I thought about framing them, but I'm not going through all that effort. But yeah, Flintlock. Uh, Give me the rundown, Craig.
All right. So I started out not liking it. It was relatively early when I text the group about that. Um, I will still say to to like its story is like nothing to
Yep.
like. I don't care about about the story, but I do like the gameplay. There's a lot of Souls aspects in it, and how they bring the flintlock usage I like because it can be used as a long range weapon. It can be used to parry. It can be used to do different things to help you. And I don't know. When I started roaming the map after they kind of get you past that tutorial area, I did like the here's multiple ways to get to the same area feel. I liked that a lot because it encourages exploring. It gives you the enemy that you're like, maybe I shouldn't fight this thing yet, or maybe I shouldn't go this way yet. Um, and it grew on me in my playthrough. But I can honestly say that I've only put like maybe like 2 to 3 hours into it, maybe
Okay.
2 to 3. I don't know. I
I
don't know. What did you think?
I it's janky, right? It's definitely not like a huge AAA Souls game. I think what I enjoy that keeps me going is the way you earn souls. I like that hook of like it's not just beating an enemy, but it's the style with which you beat them. Like you get extra points for like jumping and attacking or sliding or whatever. But I really like the idea of every enemy you kill and every action you do increases the multiplier, and you can bank it whenever you want. But if you get hit, your multiplier goes away. Like to me, that's like something subtle that keeps me going. Of like, oh, that's actually something I'd like to see in like a Elden Ring or something like that. I think it would be cool because it's just like, do I bank? You know, if you see like you're like, oh, I know these guys, they're not going to hit me, but maybe you see a different enemy and you're like, maybe I should bank
They,
my points here. I like
yeah,
that idea. It's just something different, but I wouldn't say that it looks okay graphically.
it looks okay.
I don't have any issues with like frame rate or anything. I am playing on performance, but yeah, the story
Same.
is who cares? It's
Do
forgettable. You can just
do
skip.
not
You can
care.
skip the stuff. You don't need to pay attention, for sure, for sure. But if you're
Yeah.
looking for like a Souls light, I think it's probably the best way to put it. Right? Not quite Souls.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Souls. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Souls Light. I don't know. It was yeah, I would say Souls Light.
Okay. You could do worse, honestly. You could I don't know, there's other ones out there. But and then the other one I had Dungeons of Hinterberg. Got to make sure I say that right.
I was interested in that one.
You
I'm
should
interested in
play
your
it.
take.
You should play it. I enjoy it. It's a very interesting premise of like you're on vacation and this island has 25 dungeons in it, and you get to pick where you want to go. Each dungeon has a rating of 1 through whatever, and you can look at your like your sword and stuff, and it'll tell you like, oh, you're a 2 in damage and a 1 in defense. This dungeon recommends twos, right, or something like that. So you get to make that decision, and you go in and do these dungeons, which are pretty cool. They have usually a boss at the end, treasure chest and all that. But then when you're done, it's laid out exactly like Persona, in that you wake up and it'll say like day 2 morning, and then you'll be at the hotel. You're going to pick out where you're going to go for the day from a list of like, I want to go to this section, whatever. Each section has a certain amount of dungeons in it. During the daytime is when you're doing that. And then at nighttime, you're going back and deciding who you want to spend time with and get to know better, just like Persona. And you build your relationships that way. So I think for the two of you, it probably aims more towards you than it does towards me. But I'm still having fun playing it because the dungeon part is enough to hook me. Whereas like the other stuff, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But I know you guys would probably appreciate that more. They're even almost using the same font for like night, day as
They
Persona.
I love
last.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's on Game Pass.
I'm going to
Download
be.
it. Yeah, see what you think. Let me know.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Mhm.
As we were talking about Game Pass earlier, whether to keep it or not. I'll quickly go through Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess so we could talk about the Ball of Foots.
Yep.
So I like this game. Essentially, you play as a character called So. So is essentially a warrior that is protecting this goddess, and the game is broken down into stages. Essentially, there are these things called the Seethe that are attacking this mountain, and you see that at the beginning of the game. After they do so and defile that land, you have to just travel down the mountain and just purge it of its defilement so that you can later, I'm assuming, go up the mountain or go back to where the original defilement happened. In any case, it's broken down into a day night. You have a certain amount of time during the day. I didn't clock it, but what makes it cool is it's got kind of like an action strategy side to it, but it also mixes like tower defense kind of games into it. Whereas during the day, when the Seethe can't attack, you're in a village or a general area purging specific sections, which give you currency in order to be able to get upgrades or do different things. And you're setting up traps or rebuilding traps because you have like a carpenter or whatever. You're rebuilding traps and you're essentially setting up that area so that you can protect the goddess at night. So you have like that time limit, and the goddess is the only person who can bring you forward. You kind of carve this path out for her in the ground, and she just dances the entire day slowly towards where you're trying to go. So you're kind of like juggling, like, where do I leave this goddess? There's a pathway here and a pathway here, so I know I'm going to have to protect both of these areas. And it gradually becomes more and more difficult with where the placement happens. And there's other mechanics in there, but I think it's a very satisfying game. You know, it's never really too hard, but the visuals kept me playing it. And I don't think it's a long game. Like, I think I'm at the 7th village or area already, and I haven't put a lot of hours into it. But I recommend it, especially if you have Game Pass. I think it's a nice, smooth play. I just don't know if I'd pay $60 for it,
No, absolutely not. You know,
but I like it.
I
Is
thought
it a
that
$60 game?
I don't
I don't
know.
think it. I don't think it is. I think I just threw out a random number. I wouldn't
Yeah,
pay $73 for it.
okay, I thought I saw it as a $50 or $40 game. I thought.
It could be. I started playing and I really liked like the enemy design, but when I
Yeah.
got to the like after the intro and you get to like the rescue the villagers and tell them to go here, that's when I was like, I'm out.
Oh yeah, that's the
Like
last mechanic.
I'm not doing this. I don't think so.
Yeah, they bring that more into play. So
Yeah.
if you didn't like that first one, I'm
It's
glad.
a $50.
Okay.
$50. Okay.
Also, side note, I guess before we get into college football, then I just wanted to bring this up real quick. I got my hand on the Riftmaster
nice.
finally.
Wow.
I just wanted to
Fantastic.
talk about this real quick because I've been trying to get this since it went up for pre-order and I couldn't. I've been using it to play Clone Hero on PC. Been having a
Okay.
blast. No issues whatsoever connecting to my PC, which was a big if for me. It comes with a dongle, rechargeable. So I think it lasts between 6 to 8 hours on a charge, which is incredible. No more putting batteries into this thing.
Yeah.
And it feels really good. Feels like a a better Rock Band controller. The strum bar feels more sturdy. I've been clocking a lot of hours with this bad boy. So for the
Love it.
price, I think this is worth it. Hopefully this means we're going to get more music games. But now that
Yeah.
I can finally play Clone Hero on my PC, I don't really care because I can just get whatever song I want.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
it feels great.
Nice. That's good.
I love that. That's awesome.
I've been thinking about it for a while. You've pretty much convinced me with
Yes, pick it
that.
up. For sure.
I should. But what we all picked up this week was
Yes.
college football.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know where you guys are at, but I have not pried myself away from this game.
Me neither.
You cannot get me to stop playing it. It's nonstop. I think about it at work. I think
Me
about
too.
it. It's bad.
Yep.
It is. It's like I'm back in college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you do now, Barry, you work early in the morning,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I won't ask you this question. I'll ask Craig this question. I have found myself this past week being like, I could probably get like 2 games in before I start work
Yes.
today.
Yes.
Barry, I know you
Yeah.
can't because you're like, you just get up and go. But I'll literally be like, I could definitely get a game
I can
in.
squeeze
Yeah.
it in. I can squeeze it in.
And I do. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, gotta go.
You're like fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, and you're like, I gotta keep calling running plays. I can't. I'm like, I have 2 minutes left. Like,
dude, hooked on this game.
Yeah, they did fantastically. This game is the one that was promised and more. Like me personally, I do admit there probably is some bad things, and I'm kind of glossing over that. But let's talk about what we love about this game.
Sure.
First off, they nailed the college like atmosphere.
Yep.
They did.
They're on TikTok, you can see it everywhere on Instagram Reels. Like, as Penn State fans, like all three of us are, there's no better feeling than when I see a video come up on my screen and somebody's like, "I'm tired of playing at Penn State," and then quits the game.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it is so much like fun. And for someone I've only been playing Road to Glory so far, I haven't touched Dynasty yet. But
Wow, I'm the opposite.
they nailed. Like, I am a quarterback away at, Florida or some of the top teams in the country, and it is difficult. My team is struggling. Like, they did everything so right. With the college atmosphere, like, affecting, quote unquote, like the visiting team. And I cannot give them props enough for making that happen. Because, you don't feel that in Madden games. Like, there is no difference between when I'm the Miami Dolphins visiting the Patriots. Like, there's a bit. What I like about it the most is that it's static, pretty much. Like, in Madden, you have to earn a meter to start like gaining the home crowd support and to finally get it. All three of us have been to whiteouts or Penn State games.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to get the crowd into it. The crowd is in it from the moment they enter that stadium, and that is the same with every big college team. And they nailed it. But that's one nice thing I'll say. I'll let you guys say nice things.
No, yeah, I agree with you. As somebody who was not expecting that experience, I was expecting the college game feel. But when I was playing like difficult away games or like night games or whatever, even like not difficult night games, and you're going up and the routes flicker, or all of a sudden you have to remember who your square receiver is, who your triangle receiver is, because they go away because you're not playing in front of the home. Those are small, minute details that just elevate the experience. Besides like the screen shaking, based on the crowd noise. That is the bread and butter. That's why we're requesting, or why people are requesting, a college football game, because those are some of the nuances that we're expecting, and they nailed it. And for me, as somebody who really only pays attention to Penn State football, I really appreciate it, because now I'm starting to see different stadium types, maybe some of the traditions that I wasn't as familiar with certain colleges, and it just opens up a lot of different things. And I'm loving this game. Craig, what about you?
Yeah, I was playing Road to Glory. I have 2 Road to Glories and a Dynasty going at the moment. But I was playing 2 different Road to Glories, and I really like. My favorite thing with those has always been to go to a school I don't know, like a tiny school, and let me see if I can get them a national championship. Right, that's always been what draws me to these games the most. So much so that I was playing this all week, and I got to the weekend, and I was like, I haven't even seen a Penn State home game yet. Let me start a dynasty with them real quick so I can see. And I'm not gonna lie, like that first home game, the opening just gives you chills because you're like, dude, they nailed it. Like down to the music, them walking down the hallway, the lion opening the gate, everything, and like down to like I had a pick six and ran it back, and the music starts playing and the crowd's chanting, and I was like, this is like exactly what we experience in real life going to those games. Um, and I totally get when people are like making the TikToks of trying to play at Penn State is impossible because it is. There's a reason that they say it's one of the most difficult places to play. But I think Road to Glory is good. I think I could use a little bit more immersion as far as like your weekly what you're
Agreed.
doing.
Yeah, that's one bad thing I can say
Yeah,
about it is that it's pretty lackluster.
it is. And like I'm trying to remember back to when I was playing it before, and it was kind of along the same lines where it's like you have this much energy, where do you want to put it? I don't think that's changed, but everything that happens is just a text message, which is just kind of all right. But at the end of the day, like I'm not there for that. I'm there just for the games. So it doesn't bother me as much as it's bothering other people. The other thing is I think they made kicking a little too difficult.
I like it. I like the
It's
change.
wild. Like I'm missing extra points.
I missed the
I
first. I
like it.
missed the
I
first
like it.
7 field goals that I tried. The first 7.
And I
Yeah.
also I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I don't like the recruiting aspect of it. I don't.
Ooh.
I think it's like I'm still gonna play Dynasty, but I think I may just have the computer handle it, which you can. I know that's the main like calling card of Dynasty for college football games is recruiting, but it's just so much, like
It's a lot.
so much and so many menus, and you're like trying to go back and like, all right, where did I need help? What positions? Okay, cool. Don't forget about the players that are there now. And I get it, like that's part of what being a coach is, but it's just not something that I directly want to interact with. Um, so I may just end up having the computer do that. And I don't think any of us touched Ultimate Team, right?
I didn't touch Ultimate Team. I was all
I
Dynasty.
opened my packs. That
Okay,
was
I
it.
haven't even done that.
Oh, okay.
What did we get for pre-ordering, Barry? I don't even know.
So well, did you get and you got the ultimate edition or like
Mm-hmm.
the deluxe edition? We got some packs where you get to pick like alumni, but these
Okay.
are all like base players. So you get players that are kind of like in the mid 80s and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. Like you
Okay.
usually get a lot of choice whether or not you want like an 84 rated Drew Aller or something like that, or a position player that's a little bit different. But like the main thing I could suggest to anybody is Ultimate Team is a very predatory thing,
Yep.
as all of these games have been. If you were to the deluxe edition and we get like I think 4,600 like college points that you usually have to buy, save them for later in the season when better cards are available. That is my suggestion to anybody. Like, you don't have to jump into Ultimate Team right now. There's no point in jumping into Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
All the players are not, there's no like players of the week or anything like that. So there's not like a real incentive to start it right now. If you can wait, just wait
Yeah.
because those good cards will be there and you will have a chance to get them with those free. I shouldn't say free points, but
Yeah, we paid
the
for
points
them.
that we got with our bundle.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
I might check it out, but go ahead.
I want to say a little bit about Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't know why it's a methodic process to me, but I am sometimes, especially if I'm not playing like Ohio State or like a bigger team, sometimes I actually enjoy the week where I'm recruiting.
Okay.
instead. It's stressful because like there's people you like, you're looking for fits, and they have like a variety of ways that you can woo the other candidate. And it's kind of funny, like the list of what you can do, but there's like a strategy to understanding over time what the player likes. And do you pitch atmosphere? Do you pitch academics? Do you pitch proximity to home, which I've learned very quickly a lot of people freaking have. I like forgot that about the college experience, proximity to home. um and it's just really interesting trying to figure out losing a candidate that you thought, like I texted you guys saying that I had somebody coming to an Ohio State game that I was trying to interview. Well, I was one of two schools that he was considering by the end, and then all of a sudden Texas jumped way ahead of me at the end, and they ended up getting that guy. And I was like that's, I mean, I don't know. I've never had that experience playing a game, and I know it's like almost like a second job because there are a lot of menus, but it is a pretty interesting aspect that they bring to then breaking that up by playing whatever game it is that week. So it makes you feel like you have like an extra step of the process that you're working to try to make the school. And I mean, I'm also playing as Penn State, so I like care a lot more about how the team's doing, besides just winning. But I think that brings an interesting level to it. Um, I'll admit, I'll tell everybody at home, if you haven't bought this game, do not start with Dynasty if you haven't played this game. I started with Dynasty, having not played a football related game in years, and I was missing those field goals in the game. And then out of the game, I was like, what does this do? Wait, why do I want to send the house? What does that mean? I don't know. And I'm looking through all these draft picks. I'm not sure what to do. I know the team, it's maybe not the best experience before you learn how to audible. Well, not how to audible, but maybe how to like shift the line or like do some of the other intricacies it's going to take to win the actual game.
Yeah.
Before I forget, there's like, I understand college is unpredictable, but there's just some funny in things with this game. Like I beat Ohio State in Ohio State, but like Maryland was causing me a problem. I just find that funny.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that funny. Maryland was causing me a problem at home. But I'm also like not as, I'm still getting skilled in football games again. Penalties. I texted you guys about this. The only penalty, I've seen a holding penalty twice in a season worth of games. I'm in bowl games now. And I have seen an overwhelmingly, for the actual penalty, amount of roughing the kicker specifically. So I don't know if it's a glitch, but I had a roughing the kicker call in game 2. So I'm like, all right, on any a PAT attempt or field goal attempt, I'm just not going to rush him. So I literally, during an extra point for the other team, put my controller down to go get some water, and I got a roughing the kicker penalty. And it was my controlled character. My controlled character still ran at the kicker.
Yeah.
Well, when you don't control the character, they will automatically move.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I just find that a little weird that that's the penalty that I'm seeing.
I haven't seen many penalties.
I haven't either, and I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like it. I just found it funny because I noticed over time, like, I was just like, wait, shouldn't there be more people messing up, like in a college game?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So, but the atmosphere is great. The game is great. I see that it's scoring pretty high. Is it like 88, 89
It's
on
starting to
Metacritic?
come back down now. People are
Okay.
starting to find some issues with it. I don't know about like anytime I play one of the teams that didn't make the cut, so the FCS teams, like on your schedule, there's like a injury every play,
Yeah. Yep.
like every single play, to the point where I was playing one of them, and they usually play you pretty tough, and it was a close game, and there was like 19 seconds left. I was up by like 5, so I did a QB kneel, and then there was an injury timeout, and they got the ball back. And I was like, I swear to God, if I lose because of this, like every play is an injury thing that's going on, I'm going to lose my mind. That has to be a glitch. Something's off on that.
Maybe
There's like so many injuries.
there are.
But yeah, overall, I don't really have any complaints.
No, I really don't either. I found those funny, and I just love how unpredictable it is. Like, you never know when a school is going to play you harder.
Mhm.
Just for that, like Purdue played me pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like, I won, but like I was surprised at some of the things that like it's just I don't know. And when you're thinking of X's and O's and like how your school is ranked, in terms of offense, defense, the players, the skill players that you have, I don't know. It there's something different. Like if I played as the Miami Dolphins during like a very good year of theirs, like some of these recent ones, I feel like I'm playing that way when I'm playing Madden. And then I also feel like when I'm playing the Browns when they haven't been as good, which they've been better this last. Like in this game, I don't know. It's hard to peg it down. It makes the spontaneity of playing a new team, whatever that college is, cool. I don't know. I got lost in the stats. I wanted to see how other schools are doing, like how other conferences are doing. I don't know. It's a fantastic game. Go get it if you don't have it.
Yeah.
If you slightly like football, even if you don't, I don't know, buy it.
Yeah, just get into it. I will say, just as like an ending point, like I care so much about my stupid Road to Glory player, like it's actually me. It's fun when people will ask me like, "Oh, how's the new college game?" And then I'm like, "I'm in my sophomore year at Wake Forest. I don't like the coach. Coach isn't calling plays for me." And they're looking at me like, "What is he talking about?" And
Yep.
I'm like, "So I reached my junior year and I decided I needed a new place, so I transferred to California Golden Bears. And you know what? Coach is calling my plays. People look at you with the funniest face when you
Yep.
start telling them that. And I tell them like, yeah, man, I got to spend enough energy like doing classes because I got to keep my GPA up.
Yep.
And I've been training, getting my overall up, but I got to keep myself rested so I don't get injured during the game. Like I have an
Getting my
entire
overall
pseudo
up.
life. I
Yep.
have an entire pseudo life in this game.
Yep.
And anytime that my team starts like crapping, I'm just like, come on, offensive line, like you got to block for me. What do you want me to do here? How am I supposed to win you a game when you don't block?
Yep.
I'm getting sacked 7 times.
Yeah. Collectively, with all of you guys, what positions did you choose? Barry, you sound quarterback.
I did quarterback
yeah.
as well.
You did quarterback. Is there another position? Because I haven't done Road to Glory. Is there any
yeah,
other
Quarterback,
position?
running back, wide receiver, cornerback,
and middle linebacker.
Middle
A middle
linebacker.
linebacker.
Yep.
What's the second one you guys would recommend if I didn't do quarterback?
I'm gonna
'Cause
do running back next.
I'm probably gonna do wide receiver.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing I do want to mention too is like I think they did a good job of gauging the difficulty. Like if you are a walk on or if you're a
Yes.
5-star recruit coming in.
Mm.
I was a walk on onto Wake Forest and like my first year as starter was tough.
Yep.
Like we didn't make a bowl game. I was upset for Wake Forest because they deserved better out of me.
Yep.
It's just you just begin to care, and then if you're a 5-star recruit
Yep.
going in there, you come in like you own the campus. You will play a lot better, and your overall will show for it. But I'll let you know when I lead California Golden Bears to a national championship.
We'll be expecting.
It's gonna
This
happen.
is the year. I think this is the year.
I'm taking Georgia Southern all the way, baby.
I love it.
I might actually buy a jersey that says my name on it with my number, and
There you go.
I'm putting it back here.
Yes.
I'm ironing on that national championship.
each
patch.
time-
I gotta iron it on. Yeah,
Each
that's
time
how
you
real
start
it is.
over a
Love it.
road to glory, and win a championship, you should buy that school's jersey with your name on the back and just start hanging them on your wall.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Just a line of them.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like these are all my national championships.
Yeah. Like if in a month I don't have a jersey from from California Golden Bears, just assume I didn't win a natty.
Yep. I really want to win 2 with 2 different schools in that 4-year span. or
Oh, there you
5-year
go.
span.
Transfer out.
That's my
Ooh.
that's my
I hope
goal.
s-
That's my goal.
I hope
Yeah.
you in your first one. You're like, I don't like this college anymore.
Well, as soon as I win, I'm transferring. My work here is done. Somebody else needs me. You
It's
know,
like Superman.
Yeah,
It's like Superman.
Some other poor college
Yeah.
school needs me.
and then I'm gonna go to
Right.
like Appalachian State or something and get
Yeah.
them there.
Your interviews are I'm not in it for the money. I'm in
Yep.
it for the glory.
Yep.
The road
Right.
to glory.
The road. The glory.
Got it. Let's talk about movies before I let this go any further.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love it.
Movies and TV shows this week. We've had some series season finales.
Yeah.
Boys. For me, at least, what I watched was The Boys, The Acolyte, and I finally watched The Boy and the Heron, the latest
Okay.
studio film.
Okay.
I finished the season 3 of The Bear, and then I watched The Bike Riders, Longlegs, and Twisters.
I need to hear Longlegs, my guy. I also need to hear Twister. I also finished The Boys. I unfortunately did not finish The Bear season 3 yet, but I did finish The Boys. I don't know if y'all are ready. I have a scary lineup. I watched In a Violent Nature.
Yep.
Violent Nature, not Violet. In case I said that. I watched Abigail, and I watched Tarot.
Okay. So I only watched the first episode of The Boys so far. I just started it today.
Okay.
So just so you're all aware, don't spoil
All
it
right.
for me.
I was about to say, so we won't talk about it. Other like we'll say, I'll just give general overview. I won't
Sure.
give any specific spoilers. I do personally think it's one of the weaker seasons that they did this year. So take that with what you will. I did really like the series finale. It does. Season finale. It does
Yeah.
feel like that they kind of led up to something and it finally paid off. But it definitely didn't feel as good as the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
work through it, get to the season finale, and you probably won't be disappointed. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, Barry, can I add to that? He's exactly right. It feels like, when you watch that movie or that season, that feels like the setup season for like the next one.
Yep.
That's what it feels like. It's still The Boys. It's still funny, with like gore moments and all that, everything that we're expecting, but it did feel like maybe kind of like a alley-oop, but it's the season that was passing,
Fair. Yeah.
So
So I'll just go into the Acolyte real quick, just to
Sure.
finish that up. Then I'll let you guys talk about some stuff before I get into the Boy and the Heron. Man, this series is drowned in a lot of hatred for it.
Yeah, it is.
Not a lot of people like it, and I can see why. I enjoy this. Like, I enjoyed this for the action sequences, which I feel like they did really well. I like that it is a different era of Jedi until the fun. I guess. I'm not sure if you guys plan on watching it, so I don't want to spoil it for you.
I'm going to. I have seen the character that showed up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like
Oh, okay.
I don't know really how this is all gonna go. That like there are a lot of questions to be made for a season 2, but like, do we get a season 2? Because a lot of people don't like this show at all.
Okay. Weird.
It kind of takes everything we've been told about like Star Wars lore and everything about the Jedi and kind of makes it more gray rather than a light and a dark, really. And the whole point of this series is about two twins. Twins being separated at birth. One thinking she's dead, the other one thinking she's alive. And throughout the season, they learn, oh, that's not the case. My long lost twin isn't dead. One grows up in the dark side, and the other one is a failed Jedi, but she didn't make Jedi. Failed Padawan is what I'll call her. Give it a shot if you want. There are some really boring parts, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm looking back at like the season for this show. I can barely remember anything that happened. Like, nothing of note.
Okay.
And the ending, the ending, other than a pretty good fight scene, is really just it's really really.
Okay.
I feel for Star Wars fans who thought this was the second coming of their Star Wars world. I don't mean to judge people, but it really does feel like Star Wars changed a lot when Disney took over.
Oh, it for sure did.
It's not a good year for Star Wars thus far. If Outlaws doesn't show up either.
That's
I know it's a
true.
game and they're not related, but
it's not.
Yeah.
And Jedi Survivor wasn't that great either. I didn't think.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Did its job.
I beat it, but I don't know. Okay. The Bear. I have to talk about the end. I'm not gonna spoil anything. But everything you guys said about The Boys is how I feel about this season of The Bear.
Yeah.
It's a transitional season that's setting up more that I struggle to get through because some of those episodes are boring. Uh,
How did you feel about the pregnancy episode?
I didn't mind it.
Okay.
I enjoyed the last episode. I thought it was cool seeing all the people in it and stuff. I thought that was cool to do that, but like nothing happens in this season. Literally nothing. Like I was watching it with my wife, and we both we watched the whole thing, and we both were like, I guess we should finish it because we already started. And we get to the end, and we're like, all those questions that you had from the last season,
Are still there.
none of them get answered. Not a single one. Um, so I'm like, I don't know what the point of this season was. I don't know. It's not like terrible. Like I didn't hate my time. Some of the episodes are interesting. Like I like the idea of pretty much each person kind of gets their own episode. Um, but at the expense of the story not progressing or barely progressing. And obviously setting up for another season, whether that's final or whatever. But
Mm.
um, I said to my wife when we were done, I feel like when this series is done and you were to go back and watch it, I'll hate it less as like a continuation. But as of right now, when this is all I have, I'm like, I wanted a lot more. There was a lot of questions I wanted answers to that you didn't even bother to bring up.
Yeah.
So I don't, hopefully they come out with the next season pretty quick.
They did
Yeah.
with the last season, so it's
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you want me to go through?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, my movies are technically older because you got Longlegs and Twister. Oh, Barry, you still have one more to do as well. I'll just power through these because some of them are old. All right, so In a Violent Nature, much to like what Craig said, and the reason that, well, what helped bolster the reason for my wife and I to watch it. Really cool seeing a killer's point of view movie. I really think that, I mean, the setting is in the forest. You have your standard kids that shouldn't or well don't know that they shouldn't be camping in that area because they don't know about the killer yet. Um, I thought that the only thing that I think people will not like about it is because it is set in the time of the killer. The killer is not always killing.
Mhm.
So there are longer walking scenes where you're watching him walk from point A to point B. You see the cuts where they're just like, okay, we don't want you to watch with no deaths for too long moments.
Yep.
And they do some time advancing with showing going to a sunset scene, but it is really cool. The deaths do kind of run Terrifier like in terms of the gore.
How'd you feel about the log splitter?
Oh my god. I knew I was waiting for each death for
Yeah.
for the one that, and I was like, I look at my wife and I go, that's the one Craig was talking about. Most definitely crazy.
Oh my god.
Pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. I think people should make more movies like that. We as a consumer are looking for different takes. The movie is not perfect, but how many movies literally are in the entirety through the eyes of the killer and you know it?
Mm-hmm.
Like you know it. Like back, so Tarot's a sleeper.
Yep.
Tarot is a sleeper. Tarot is going to be on my wife's every Halloween list. The premise is pretty standard. A group of friends are at an Airbnb. Well, that's the modern version. In the back in the day, it's that we're at a log cabin for the weekend. Now it's Airbnbs. They find their way into a area that says keep out, and they don't. And they find a tarot card set, which the main character that's her profession, is reading tarot cards and people's fortune or futures, whatever. They obviously use that deck. I didn't know that you're not supposed to use other tarot users' decks. I learned that in that movie. But it unleashes essentially what I'm going to call a Final Destination kind of death ring, which, based on when she reads them, that's the order that in which the characters die, and they die based off of the card associated with their fortune. To make this simple, what this movie does right, believe it or not, is actually the deaths and the tarot creatures that kill them.
They're great.
They're great.
Mm-hmm.
Just for your knowledge, Craig, the elevator is my favorite.
That was incredible.
That was incredible. Mm-hmm. It was incredibly done. and I didn't feel the plasticky feel, when I'm watching certain deaths in scary movies. So the movie's fantastic. I think you guys should take a gander, especially when it becomes free and you're looking for something different. I thought it was going to be medium, and it actually was quite high in terms of our experience with it. Speaking of high on experiences, Abigail, exactly what I wanted.
Yep.
Exactly what I wanted. Another movie that is not 100% perfect, but the comedy combined with the I guess the deep violent nature of this film, it's fantastic. Um, for those of you who don't know the premise, it's 6 people. They all have shady pasts. They're contracted to kidnap a daughter of a pretty wealthy person that they don't know because it's a job that they're taking. They go to this like pretty nice mansion, house, whatever, and they just have to keep her for 24 hours. They don't realize that she's a vampire. The trailer can tell you that. Um, Abigail's great. My wife and I found actually liking Abigail the entire movie, even though she's the one going around and doing the killings. Uh, that actress is fantastic. Um, and where also they nailed it, and this is the last thing I'll say, is Abigail, when she's vampiric, looks great. Any of the vampires, when they're vampiric, um, in certain movies, like you do like the 2 teeth thing or like the multi-teeth thing. This one they went with multi-teeth, and it makes her look really sinister.
Yep.
When she's killing, and she like turns it on and off for when she just decides to play like the little girl in distress. She's very manipulative, and it's a fantastic movie. I think we'll be watching that yearly as well.
That movie dies if they don't get the right kid actor,
Right.
and they nailed it.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
They did nail it, because the other actors and actresses, I mean, they could be forgettable in terms of the character they play, maybe not the actors or actresses themselves, but Abigail had to be right, just like you said, Craig, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
She was fantastic.
So I'll go into The Boy and the Heron, just because that is still like the oldest of the other two movies Craig has mentioned he watched. The Boy and the Heron beat out Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
How dare they?
So I had high expectations for this movie because like Spider-Verse, that movie was amazing.
Yep.
It was.
The Boy and the Heron is the latest Studio Ghibli, and also still produced by Hayao Miyazaki, who is the legendary, animator and Studio Ghibli guy that was pretty much mentioned that he was going to retire, but he still shows up for work anyway. Man, just enjoy life. I guess if you enjoy your work, I guess it's not that bad. But man, you probably should go and relax a little bit. This movie is a work of art. This is probably, and I can't remember the last time I felt like this.
Encanto.
Well, no. So Encanto's more emotional as well.
Okay.
This movie is and I mean by work of art, as mean like the drawing and animation with this. I almost want people to see it because of it. The way it animates, the way it looks, I feel like it's probably it could be the most best looking animated movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
It is incredible how good this movie looks. Gorgeous visuals is what it has going for it, but based off of like the Studio Ghibli movies I like Princess Mononoke is still like an absolute masterpiece as well. It's lacking that action for me. It's more of a movie where you're probably like wondering like, hey, what's going on? What is this world that I've been delved into? It's a lot of like questioning and getting into the lore of the movie rather than having it being carried by like huge action set pieces and like little bit of story within between. But just like overall, did I think it deserved to beat the Spider-Verse movie? I think it's a stretch to say it like it should. I think it's a stretch. I feel like they just kind of made this movie win so that way they could say they had Hayao Miyazaki like at the award show. It feels like.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse movie, we are getting a third eventually. We should have already had the third
Yep.
4 months ago, to be honest, but we don't know how that's going. Uh, but if either of you guys want to borrow the movie just to say you've watched it, I will absolutely let you borrow the disc. I'm still floored by the visuals. It is crazy how good looking there are wallpaper moments everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I may consider it. It looks like it kind of has like a Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe kind of feel, in only that it's like you go to this fantasy world
Hmm.
from like a specific. Yeah, so it's got that vibe, and I don't know.
It's
I was
on
always
my
a big
it's
fan.
on my list. I'm gonna watch it. I just haven't watched it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
I
be
will definitely.
interested to see if you guys agree with like the visual part. I have a
Sure.
feeling you will. Whether it's top anything for you guys, I don't know, but I
That's the
still
only
think
reason
about
I
it.
wanted to watch it was the art.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
is. Craig, you as an artist are really. I think you will also agree with my take with that this
Okay,
might be one of the best
that's fair.
looking movies you ever seen.
Okay.
But let's talk about legs.
Movies. All right, so I'll start with the bike riders.
Ooh.
Let me start with the bike riders. Tom
Okay.
Hardy, Austin Butler. I actually really like this movie, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's kind of it's filmed kind of reminds me of like an episode of The Sopranos. There is a person who is kind of doing like a documentary with the biker gang and is like following them around and talking to everybody. And Austin Butler's wife is kind of like the narrator of the movie, explaining everything. It's a
Okay.
bike gang in the '70s. It's just one of those kind of like, I guess what do you call it, like a period piece almost, centered around a biker gang, and like it has some cool moments. It's funny. It's got, I don't know. I did not expect to like it at all. I put it on because I was like, all right. I said I was gonna watch every movie. Let me watch this one, and I was like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. So I would say check that one out when it's streaming, whenever that may be. I don't think it's
Okay.
something you go see in theaters. I'll go to Twisters because that is fresh in my mind. I just saw it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday. Okay, so one of those movies that is made for theaters with the surround sound and your seats are shaking because they have the volume so loud. They know what you want in this movie. They give you a bunch of twisters. It's almost identical to the original if you swap. Whereas in the original, like they were the outcast, uh, like Storm Hunters. This time she's partnering up with like the big corporation, and then the outcast is like the other version. It had a nice little twist to it that I enjoyed, and I will
Ah,
say,
twist.
yep, twists and twisters, and the twisters when they show up are impressive. Like, yes, they're CGI, but like the big sets where everything is destroyed, just they look good, better when you do them in real life. Like you can CGI a destroyed town, or you could just make one, and it's going to look more believable. And I had a blast. I thought it was done incredibly well. I was a little nervous it was going to be dumb and just cashing in, but I don't think it is. So 100%. I don't know if it's going to end up like top 10 for me. It might, but definitely worth seeing in theaters. Or if you have good sound system at your home, that's fine too. But there's just something about like when the storm's coming and they're like, oh, the storm's coming, and then you hear the rain like behind you in the movie theater and it's coming up, and then the wind, it just sounds cool. But the big one, I guess, is Longlegs, right? Uh,
Heck yeah.
Longlegs. Saw that 2 weeks ago. Um, okay, so I wouldn't consider it a horror movie at all. Um, the movie does an incredible job of keeping you uneasy the entire time, from the moment it starts until the moment it ends. It's very just like, what is going to happen? You're trying to figure out this like serial killer, played by Nicolas Cage, and Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage in this movie. When he's in it, he's over the top. He's stealing the scenes because he's so crazy. But there is the twist at the end I did not see coming, but I should have. I felt kind of mad at myself because I didn't figure it out, but that makes it more fun. Um, I guess originally, Craig, you had said like you were hoping there's like a supernatural element to it.
Yeah.
There is.
Oh my god,
There
yes.
definitely is. Because at first I was like, okay, like I get what they're going for here. Nicolas Cage is this person going around killing people. It's not just that. So there is an element to it that I really enjoyed. I thought they did very
Oh
well.
yes.
They do a good job of, like, the uneasy feeling is like, so the main character, who is the FBI, they do a lot of scenes where she's trying to figure it out, and she's like looking at her notes and looking at photos, but they position the camera so you can like see the doorway behind her. So your immediate thought is like, okay, something's going to show up in the doorway, but they like trick you because nothing shows up, and you're just like constantly scanning the scenes and be like, okay, what's going to be in that window? You know what I mean? Like that.
You're like watching her back.
Yeah, you're watching for her, and like it just keeps you on edge. And sometimes they do. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I see it back there. Sometimes you don't. But I just think like it's an incredibly well done serial killer style movie, like a Seven. It reminds me a lot of Seven. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. I think some people are going to go out of the movie theaters, like my wife, who was like, "What did I just watch?" Whereas my daughter and I walked down, and we're like, "That was awesome." It's very dynamic. It's one of those movies, Barry. I would say watch it. I think, if you've seen Seven or not.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
You got to see Seven, man.
Seven's great.
Seven's great.
It's just one of those, like, it's like a who done it, right? She's trying to figure out
Yeah,
how is
yeah.
he killing these people. He's got his, like, let me decode his way of writing with symbols, just like the Zodiac. It's all that kind of stuff. So, but very, very, very light on horror elements, if that makes sense. Not what
Okay.
I was expecting, because they bill it as like this is the scariest movie of the year. It's
Yeah, they
definitely
did.
not. Definitely not. But Nicolas Cage did a great job for sure. 100% watch that movie. I think it's
All
still
right.
theaters.
Anything else anybody wants to go into or dive into?
All good here.
Like, we're
Covered
good.
it all.
Covered it all on a very busy week of the podcast. I'd like to thank
We did.
everybody for listening and for your support, both on our YouTube and your podcast listening platform of choice. If you could share it with a friend or leave a review on that podcast platform, we would really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. Tell us about your experience with college football, your experience with Longlegs. Like, there's a lot to talk about. What you think about Game Pass? There's a ton of stuff to ask or have opinions of. I'm pretty active, as Craig can see in the comment section. I read the comments. I like to get involved with the small community we have here. So I really do appreciate when people listen and they take the time to share their opinions. And with that, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.